Time to bring in our man about Rio via Cisco telepresence, David Aldridge, with us for a look ahead to the quarterfinals and beyond. And DA, the U.S. heads into the elimination portion of the tournament after 3 straight wins. Most would agree were underwhelming. Just how vulnerable is this team?
I think somewhat vulnerable, Matt. I mean, I do think that once you get to the medal round and you're playing against veteran teams that have played well and know how to play in international competition, you always have that chance. The good news for the U.S. team, I think, is that they know that they haven't played well. I mean, DeMarcus Cousins said we haven't played that well the last 3 games today at practice. So they know that, and they think that they have another gear they can get to. The question is, can they get to it in time? I mean, they've talked for almost a week now about the need to communicate better on defense, and they simplified a few things, I was told, in practice to try and improve their defensive coverages, and we'll see how that works against the veteran Argentina team. From a talent standpoint, the U.S. still has the most talent by far of anybody that's left in the field, but from a continuity, chemistry, experience standpoint, they're probably not in the top 2 or 3, and they're going to have to figure out a way quickly to kind of improve that defensive performance if they're going to win the gold medal. And I think they will, but they have to do it.
Well, there have been well-chronicled issues on both ends of the floor, the lack of ball movement offensively. You touched on some of the defensive deficiencies, which frankly have been more alarming for me watching from stateside. What would Coach K most like to clean up?
Well, it's funny. You know, I asked him after the last preliminary game against France on Sunday, you know, what are they good at and what do they need to work on? And he said, well, they're consistent at winning. So, I mean, you know, he's, I think he's maybe a little weary of those kinds of questions. But look, I think it's defense. I think that offensively, they have had moments where the ball is stuck, but the bottom line is they're scoring 95, 96 points a game. They can count on, at least they have been able so far to count on at least one guy getting off. It was Klay Thompson last game. Kevin Durant early. They've had some other guys have some good offensive performances. It would be better if the ball was moving all the time, but they have had stretches, Matt, where they play well offensively. They played well against France for pretty much the whole first half, and midway through the third quarter they were up 20, and then they kind of took their foot off the gas. So they have had stretches where they've played well offensively, even though the ball does stick on occasion. The problem to me has been defense. They get into stretches where they just trade baskets with the other team, and while you can do that in the preliminary rounds, you do not want to take that risk in a medal round game where one bad outing offensively could send you home.
DA, I totally agree with you and Matt and his defensively. I just want to talk about the mindset of Coach K. Has he found a rotation that he wants to go with? And then also for me, offensively, I have not seen I would say, Olympic team that takes so many contested shots. They don't get the easy, fast break, 10 or 12 dunks that we get a chance to see. You know the reason why? Did Coach K even talk about that?
Well, I think it's a combination of things, Smitty. First of all, defense, the opponent defenses are making a premium getting back. I mean, they're really sprinting back to take away that early, easy stuff. I think, frankly, another problem is that the point guard that they have, I mean, Lowry is probably the most pure point guard that they have. Kyrie, as we know, is a terrific scoring point guard, but in terms of getting people into the offense and getting people open shots, that's not really, at this point of his career, what his strength is. So I think that they don't have on the roster that kind of LeBron type, if not LeBron, player that can handle the ball and kind of get them into their offense. So the ball does tend to, again, you have those moments where the ball sticks. It doesn't stick all the time. But you're right, the weak side, swing stuff, they're not getting as much of that as you would expect. But I think part of that is the point guard. Part of it is I don't think from a low post standpoint defenses are going to commit double teams to DeAndre Jordan or DeMarcus Cousins. As good as DeMarcus Cousins is on the block, they don't go to him every time, and they don't go to him a lot, frankly. And so if you're a defense, you really don't have to play inside out. You can just kind of stay along the perimeter and contest late and realize that it's probably going to be one pass and shoot. And so that I think those are the things that have kind of led to that stagnation offensively.
Hey, DA, away from the floor, just in terms of environment, the venue, we see beautiful scenics of Rio. It's a stunning country, but we heard the warnings before the games began about all the issues the country has suffered, including serious crime there. And obviously, there have been a few disturbing incidents during the games themselves. What's been your experience getting around the area and sort of from a bigger picture point of view? What strikes you about Rio?
Well, fortunately, we have a incredible local driver who takes us everywhere and knows the countryside, knows the area. He's from here; it's home for him. So we've been very fortunate in that regard, Matt. We don't, we have to take the buses to the venues, but those are all dedicated lanes. You get on the bus, it goes straight to the arena. You don't have to sit you're in traffic, but you have an express lane to get past most of the traffic. So that part hasn't been bad at all. On the ground, I haven't had any problems at all, to be honest with you. I mean, it's been fine. I think to me, Rio is like any major city. There are places that you probably shouldn't go late at night, and then you try to avoid those places, and you try to travel in groups and don't spend a lot of time by yourself, and maybe stay close to the hotels. But where we're staying, it's been fine. I haven't had any problems in the areas where we've traveled here and downtown. It hasn't been a problem. And I think the people have been spectacular. They have gone out of their way to try to make this work. I think everybody understands the logistical, financial, emotional, spiritual problems that bringing in Olympic Games can convey on a host city. And that they're here. Don't get it twisted. They are here, but the people who are living here and who are working these games, the local people are really going out of their way and really making an effort to make this work. And from that standpoint, it's been very easy to navigate and to get around. It's just that it's the Olympics, and so everything takes an hour to get from one place to the next. That's just the Olympics when you bring 500,000 to 1 million people into one city and plop them in the middle of it. That's going to cause some traffic.
That's going to happen anywhere. Well, it's good to hear. Yeah. Continue to stay safe and enjoy the games. We'll talk to you soon. That's David Aldridge with us, the man near Ipanema.
And I've seen the girl. She still looks fetching.